The vast expanse of the Galactic Conference Hall buzzed with tension as the representatives from hundreds of alien civilizations waited. Their collective anticipation centered on one unprecedented moment: first contact with humanity's official delegation. J. Park walked into the chamber, completely unaware of the diplomatic protocols that typically governed such momentous encounters. His mismatched tactical jacket hung loosely over comfortable cargo pants, and a battered leather messenger bag swung casually at his side. Unlike the meticulously dressed alien diplomats with their precise robes and ceremonial accessories, Jay looked like he had just stepped out of an interstellar coffee shop. The Rigelian Council leader Hyun Kim watched with increasing bewilderment. His crystalline exoskeleton shifted colors rapidly, a telltale sign of extreme emotional fluctuation among his species. Jay seemed oblivious to the silent scrutiny, instead focusing on setting up something that looked suspiciously like a portable coffee machine right in the center of the sacred diplomatic platform. "Does anyone want coffee?" Jay asked, as if he were inviting colleagues to a casual morning meeting rather than addressing the most significant diplomatic gathering in galactic history. A collective gasp rippled through the assembled alien representatives. The Zorn delegates, massive reptilian creatures known for their strict ceremonial traditions, looked like they might spontaneously combust from sheer cultural shock. The silicon-based Krell representatives began rapidly clicking their communication nodes, attempting to determine if this was some elaborate human psychological warfare technique. Hyun Kim cleared his throat, a sound that translated across multiple linguistic spectrums as a demand for formal introduction. "Representative Park," he began with careful pronunciation. "The Galactic Council expects a comprehensive overview of human intentions and diplomatic objectives." Jay nodded, pulled out a thermos, and began pouring coffee. The liquid steamed, its rich aroma cutting through the sterile conference environment. Like an unexpected sensory invasion, some delegates instinctively recoiled while others leaned forward with unexpected curiosity. "Right," Jay responded, taking a casual sip. "Humanity wants three things. First, peaceful coexistence. Second, open trade routes. Third, the ability to share our music and possibly introduce you all to something called karaoke." The last word hung in the air, completely untranslatable in any known galactic language. The Krell representatives began rapid internal consultations. Their communication nodes flickered with intense computational activity. What kind of species casually mentions karaoke during a first contact scenario? What mysterious ritual was this? Hyun Kim's exoskeleton cycled through an unprecedented range of colors, shifting from deep purple of confusion to bright green of mild panic. "Karaoke," he repeated, the word feeling strange in his vocal apparatus. "It's a form of social entertainment," Jay explained, completely matter-of-fact. "Basically, people sing songs somewhat poorly in public and everyone enjoys it." The concept was so alien, so fundamentally incomprehensible to the assembled galactic civilizations, that several diplomatic translators temporarily short-circuited. The idea of deliberately performing music poorly as a form of enjoyment contradicted every known social interaction protocol in the known universe. What the aliens didn't understand was that this casual approach was quintessentially human. Humanity didn't view first contact as a rigid formal procedure, but as an opportunity for genuine connection. Jay's coffee machine, his relaxed demeanor, and his bizarre explanation of karaoke were not mistakes. They were calculated expressions of human cultural complexity. The Zorn delegates started whispering among themselves. Their universal translators struggled to capture the nuanced implications of this encounter. Was this a diplomatic strategy? A form of psychological manipulation? Or simply the most genuine first contact approach ever witnessed? Jay continued, sipping his coffee, completely unaware that he was fundamentally reshaping galactic diplomatic expectations with every casual moment. "So," he added, setting down his thermos, "shall we discuss trade agreements? I heard you might be interested in our internet memes." The conference hall descended into a stunned silence. Wu Li never intended to change the course of galactic technology. It was just another typical day in the research lab, with steaming, cups of energy drink scattered between complex quantum processors and experimental communication arrays. The accident happened in a moment of pure human clumsiness. Lee's elbow knocked over a bright green energy drink, the liquid cascading across the most expensive piece of equipment in the entire research facility. Any other species would have panicked, called for immediate emergency protocols, or simply given up. But Wu Li did something unexpected. He grabbed a nearby cloth and started wiping. The quantum processor, instead of short-circuiting or exploding as any rational scientific model would predict, began to hum. Strange patterns of light danced across its surface. The equipment that should have been completely destroyed was actually transforming. Research assistants watched in stunned silence. The initial droplets of energy drink had somehow created a molecular reaction that defied every known principle of quantum mechanics. Lines of communication that previously took months to transmit now compressed into milliseconds. Dr. Park, Lee's supervisor, approached slowly. Her hands were shaking. "What exactly did you do?" Lee shrugged. "Accidentally spilled my drink. Want some?" The simplicity of his response contrasted sharply with the potentially revolutionary technology humming before them. The quantum processor had essentially rewritten the fundamental understanding of communication technology. Alien scientific communities began receiving transmissions from Earth that were impossibly fast. Messages that would have taken years now arrived instantaneously. The data transfer was clean, precise, and completely unexpected. The Galactic Science Council convened an emergency meeting. Representatives from various technological civilizations gathered, their advanced sensors and computational systems struggling to understand how humans had achieved what they had been attempting for centuries. "It was an accident," Wu Li explained, during his presentation, casually sipping another energy drink. The assembled scientists found this utterly maddening. Breakthrough technologies were supposed to be the result of decades of careful research, not random liquid spillage. The Krell technological experts ran countless simulations. Each time, the result was the same. The human had accidentally created a communication breakthrough that would revolutionize interstellar communication. What made the discovery truly remarkable was its origin. No other civilization would have interpreted an equipment malfunction as a potential scientific breakthrough. Most would have immediately reported the incident, called for repairs, and filed extensive documentation. Humans, however, saw opportunity in accidents. The quantum processor continued to function perfectly, its circuits now somehow enhanced by the strange chemical combination of electronic components and energy drink. Lee's colleagues began replicating the experiment, though none could quite capture the same magical accident. "Maybe it needs to be this specific brand," Lee suggested, holding up the half-empty energy drink can. Scientific teams from 3 different planetary systems began analyzing its chemical composition, treating the beverage with a reverence typically reserved for the most sacred scientific artifacts. Planetary communication networks started implementing the new technology. Transmissions that once took months now happened in seconds. Trade routes became more efficient. Scientific exchanges accelerated at an unprecedented rate. And at the center of it all was Wu Li, who continued working as if nothing extraordinary had happened. When asked about his groundbreaking discovery, he would simply smile and offer someone an energy drink. The Galactic Science Council awarded him their highest honor, though Lee seemed more interested in the free lunch that came with the ceremony. He accepted the award wearing a wrinkled lab coat and sneakers, completely unaware of the historical significance of the moment. What the alien civilizations couldn't understand was the human capacity for accidental innovation. Where other species saw failure, humans saw potential. Where others would give up, humans would experiment, adapt, and unexpectedly succeed. The quantum communication breakthrough became a testament to human unpredictability. It wasn't planned, researched, or even intentionally developed. It was a pure accident, transformed by human curiosity and a willingness to see potential in the most unexpected places. As news spread across the galaxy, one thing became clear. Humanity was not just another emerging civilization. They were something entirely different, a species that could turn a simple accident into a technological revolution. And it all started with a spilled energy drink. The Orion Confederation's massive battleships loomed menacingly near the small planet of Arena, their weapons charged, ready to unleash total destruction on the defenseless world. Traditional galactic conflict resolution would have demanded a military response or diplomatic negotiation, but humanity had other plans. Kang Choi stepped forward, wearing bright red dancing shoes and a slightly wrinkled tactical uniform. He carried no weapons, just a portable music system and an unexpected confidence that confused everyone watching. "We propose a dance-off," Kang announced, his voice steady and completely serious. The Orion military commanders stared in absolute disbelief. Their communication channels buzzed with confusion. A dance-off? Against a potential total planetary invasion? Kang activated his music system. Upbeat rhythms filled the space between the battleships, a strange mix of electronic beats and traditional dance music. He began moving, his body creating intricate dance movements that seemed to tell a story of peace, unity, and unexpected connection. The alien commanders watched, initially believing this was some form of human psychological warfare. But as Kang continued dancing, something extraordinary happened. The tension in the space began to shift. His movements were precise yet fluid. Each step told a story of cultural understanding. He incorporated elements from different alien dance traditions. A twist of Zorn military march, a spin reminiscent of Krell celebration rituals, a jump that echoed Rigelian communication patterns. The Orion fleet's communication channels became increasingly chaotic. Junior officers were laughing. Senior commanders looked progressively more confused. This was not how interstellar conflicts were supposed to be resolved. One Orion commander, Captain Rolk, found himself involuntarily tapping his multiple limbs to the rhythm. The dance was somehow communicating something beyond words, a message of shared existence, of possibility beyond conflict. Kang's dance continued. He wasn't just moving, he was performing a complex narrative of peaceful coexistence. Each movement suggested an alternative to war, cooperation, understanding, mutual respect. The other human representatives watched with a mixture of pride and amusement. They knew exactly what Kang was doing. This wasn't just a dance, it was a sophisticated form of diplomatic communication that no other civilization could comprehend. Alien sensors struggled to categorize the performance. Was it a threat? A ritual? A form of communication? The complexity of human expression defied their understanding. Captain Rolk's second-in-command whispered, "Should we shoot?" "I don't know," Rolk responded, still involuntarily moving to the, "This is unexpected." As the dance reached its climax, Kang incorporated symbolic gestures of peace. He made movements that represented shared resources, mutual protection, collaborative survival. It was a dance that spoke louder than any diplomatic speech could. The Orion fleet's weapons slowly powered down. Their aggressive posture dissolved, replaced by a collective state of bewilderment and unexpected emotional connection. "We withdraw," Captain Rolk finally announced, his voice a mixture of confusion and respect. "This conflict no longer makes sense." The small planet of Arena was saved, not through military might, not through complex negotiations, but through a dance that communicated something profound about human potential. Kang finished his performance, slightly out of breath but with a triumphant smile. He bowed, not to the alien commanders, but to the concept of peaceful resolution. Other human diplomats approached, offering him water and congratulating him. To them, this was just another typical Tuesday. Resolve an interstellar conflict through dance? Completely normal. The Galactic Conflict Resolution Committee would spend years trying to understand what had just happened. Their reports would be filled with complex analyses, trying to break down the intricate cultural communication that had just occurred. But the simple truth was much more straightforward. Humans had an extraordinary ability to find unexpected solutions. Where others saw conflict, humans saw an opportunity for connection. As the Orion fleet retreated, communications between ships were filled with discussions about this strange human ritual. They had come to destroy a planet and left having experienced something they could not explain. Kang packed up his music system, adjusted his uniform, and looked around casually. "Anyone want coffee?" he asked, as if he hadn't just prevented an interstellar war through dance. Sujin never planned to become a cultural revolutionary. She was just a simple gardener who liked sharing her hobby online. But in the vast, interconnected galaxy, her small video about growing vegetables would change everything. It started innocently enough. One lazy afternoon, Sujin recorded herself teaching basic gardening techniques on her home colony. She spoke casually, wearing comfortable clothes with her pet cat occasionally wandering into the frame. Her garden was nothing special, just a small patch of green on a human settlement, filled with earth vegetables and some experimental alien plant hybrids. The video went viral across multiple planetary networks. Alien civilizations became obsessed. The Krell watched in fascination as Sujin demonstrated how to plant tomatoes. The Zorn studied her methods of soil preparation with intense scientific curiosity. What humans saw as a simple gardening tutorial became a window into human culture, creativity, and connection with nature. Viewers were captivated by more than just gardening techniques. They were drawn to Sujin's personality, her occasional laugh, her patient explanations, the way she talked to her plants like they were old friends. She wasn't just teaching gardening. She was sharing a philosophy of life. Alien agricultural departments began implementing her techniques. Planets that had struggled with food production for centuries suddenly found success using methods Sujin had casually mentioned in her video. She explained complex concepts with simple analogies, making advanced agricultural science feel accessible and even fun. But the impact went far beyond agriculture. The video's comment sections became unexpected cultural exchange platforms. Aliens started asking about human music, human jokes, human ways of thinking. Sujin's gardening channel transformed into a broader cultural communication platform. Other humans began creating similar content: cooking shows, dance tutorials, music lessons, simple videos that revealed the depth and creativity of human culture. Each video became a bridge between civilizations, breaking down complex barriers with unexpected simplicity. The Galactic Cultural Exchange Committee was thrown into complete chaos. Their carefully planned diplomatic strategies were being completely undermined by internet videos and casual human creativity. Alien societies started adopting human practices. Zorn military units began incorporating human workout techniques. Krell communication centers started playing human music during work breaks. Rigelian educational systems introduced classes on human creativity and problem-solving. Sujin remained completely unaware of her massive cultural impact. When asked about her viral status, she would simply shrug and offer to show someone how to grow better vegetables. "It's just something I do on weekends," she would say, utterly humble about her global influence. The most remarkable aspect was how naturally this cultural exchange happened. Humans didn't try to force their culture. They simply shared, openly and honestly, creating connections that traditional diplomatic channels could never achieve. Memes became a new form of interstellar communication. Human humor, which seemed completely incomprehensible to most alien civilizations, slowly became a universal language. Jokes that made no sense scientifically somehow communicated complex emotional and social concepts. Planetary leaders watched in a mixture of horror and fascination. How could a simple gardening video become more effective at cultural diplomacy than centuries of carefully crafted communication strategies? The answer was simple: authenticity. Humans didn't present a polished, perfect version of themselves. They showed real moments, real struggles, real joy. They laughed at their mistakes, celebrated small victories, and welcomed others into their world without pretension. Sujin continued making her videos, completely unaware that she was fundamentally reshaping galactic cultural understanding. Her cat would occasionally knock over plant pots. Her garden had imperfect rows, and she would laugh and continue filming. Those imperfections became her greatest strength. Alien civilizations discovered something profound through these simple, Videos, humanity was not just a technological or military force. They were a species of storytellers, creators, and unexpected connectors. When asked about her unexpected global influence, Sujin would simply smile and offer her viewers a fresh tomato from her garden. The galaxy watched, learned, and slowly began to understand that culture is not about perfection, but about genuine connection. The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Jay Park walked in for the final meeting. Centuries of interstellar interactions had led to this moment, the ultimate understanding of humanity's true nature. Representatives from hundreds of alien civilizations watched carefully. Their sensors, advanced computational systems, and centuries of diplomatic experience had failed to completely understand humans. Today would be different. Hyun Kim, the lead council representative, cleared his throat. His crystalline body shifted colors rapidly, a sign of extreme internal tension. "We are here," he began, "to comprehend the true potential of humanity." Jay Park looked completely relaxed. He carried a worn leather messenger bag and wore a jacket that looked like it had survived multiple space adventures. Where other species would have dressed in formal diplomatic attire, he looked like he had just stepped out of a casual work meeting. "Let me explain something," Jay started, pulling out a small device that looked suspiciously like a portable coffee maker. "Humans aren't special because we're the strongest. We're special because we adapt." The alien representatives leaned forward. Adaptation was a concept they understood, but not in the way humans interpreted it. Jay began presenting a series of impossible achievements. Technological breakthroughs discovered by accident, conflicts resolved through unexpected methods, cultural exchanges that happened through simple internet videos. Each example demonstrated a fundamental truth about human potential. What made humans unique was their ability to turn mistakes into opportunities. Where other civilizations saw failure, humans saw potential. Where traditional problem-solving would stop, human creativity would find a path forward. The Krell representatives ran rapid computational analyses. Their advanced systems struggled to process human unpredictability. How could a species achieve so much through what appeared to be complete chaos? Jay shared stories. The quantum processor discovered through a spilled energy drink. The interstellar conflict resolved through a dance performance. The agricultural revolution started by a simple gardening video. Each story was more impossible than the last. "We don't follow rules," Jay explained. "We create new ones." The council members exchanged worried glances. This was not how emerging civilizations were supposed to behave. Humans defied every known protocol of technological and social development. Hyun Kim's body cycled through unprecedented color combinations, displaying a complex mixture of fear, respect, and complete bewilderment. Humanity was not just another species. They were a fundamental disruption to everything the galactic civilization understood about progress. Jay pulled out a small plant from his messenger bag. "This," he said, "represents humanity. It grows where it's not supposed to. It survives impossible conditions. It finds a way." The plant looked ordinary, but to the alien representatives, it symbolized something profound. Humans were like this plant, unexpected, resilient, capable of thriving in the most challenging environments. Mathematical models failed to predict human behavior. Diplomatic strategies collapsed when humans were involved. Traditional understanding of technological progress became meaningless. "We're not perfect," Jay continued. "We're just really good at improvising." The revelation was simple yet revolutionary. Humanity's strength was not in their technology, their military might, or their diplomatic skills. Their true power was their ability to approach challenges with creativity, humor, and a fundamental belief that solutions exist. The Galactic Council had spent centuries categorizing and understanding emerging civilizations. Humanity defied every single classification. They were simultaneously the most dangerous and most promising species ever encountered. As the meeting concluded, the alien representatives understood something profound. Humans were not just another civilization. They were a force of nature, unpredictable, creative, and utterly unstoppable. Jay finished his presentation by offering everyone coffee. The galaxy would never be the same. Hyun Kim watched as Jay walked out, the small plant from his bag somehow already taking root in the council chamber's sterile environment. It was a perfect metaphor for humanity itself, finding life and possibility in the most unexpected places. Humanity had arrived, and nothing would stop them.